You know, one of the most annoying aspects about being a tech reviewing YouTuber is that sometimes I get kit delivered that I really want to get out the box and play with it and see what it can do. But I have to stick to my recording schedule. And so sometimes the thing just sits there in the corner of the room just staring at me going, go on, get me out. Ruin the unboxing experience. Play with me. And that has happened with this. Yeah, I've upgraded yet again. Without further ado, let's get this thing unboxed. Now, I have bought this with my own money. Anker haven't sent me this, although if you're watching, please just send me free stuff because it's expensive buying your things and then reviewing them. Okay, but before we take that out of its cellophane wrapping, let's see what else is in this box. Oh, as I suspected, it is the plug. A warranty card and a user guide. Anything else? I think that's it. Nothing else. There we are. Oh, it's got it. Ta-da. Okay, that's the unboxing done. I think I paid about 180 quid for this, but it had some money off. Can't now remember how much, but it seemed like a good deal at the time, and I just went for it. I just bought more. I just needed more power. But anyway, this is quite a step up, isn't it, from battery packs that would charge my iPad, my laptop, and my phones. This thing here is designed for something a little bit more than just those small devices. This thing is designed for camping. This thing is designed for when you need power in a place that doesn't have it. Maybe you're doing DIY around the house, or you're somewhere that isn't yet connected. This thing is incredibly useful, and it's also there for when you need it as a backup for, you know, if there might be ever a power outage. This thing will come in very handy. We're not talking power banks now. We're talking portable power stations, and that's what this thing is. So just before we have a little look at what connections and ports and things we've got here at the front, let me just go through some of the specs with you. How heavy is the C300? And I'm asking that question because on the box here, you'll see this dude, he's carrying it around on his backpack, and that thing looks a heck of a lot smaller than this does. I think there's been a bit of doctoring of the image there. Okay, for my American audience, it's 6.17 pounds. And for the rest of my audience, it's 2.8 kilos. So this thing is pretty heavy. So I don't know whether that would be too comfortable hanging that off your backpack or hanging it around your neck for too long. It really is there to kind of stand in the corner and do what it needs to do. So let me just get into some of the figures that we've got on here. So it's the Anker Solix C300 portable power station, 288 watt hours. It's going to last whatever you've got plugged into here for a long time. 300 watts it delivers at a time, although it does have 600 watt power surge. So if you suddenly plug so much into it and there's a sudden surge, it can go to 600 watts for a little bit before it kind of goes, that's enough, I'm going to stop charging now. So what do we have on here? What else have we got on here? Smart temperature control, long-lasting LFP batteries, like lithium iron phosphate batteries. That's quite good at giving you a nice equilibrium between safety, cost and sustainability. It's really good for kind of maximizing weight to kind of power ratio. Impact resistant build. Well, this thing is built like a tank. It's obviously got some vents here to keep the thing cool. You can almost see through it. So 600 watt max surge pad output, 7 outlets, fast 140 watt charging and recharging. So you'll be able to plug lots of devices in here. As long as you don't exceed that wattage, you'll be okay, and it'll charge them for hours and hours on end. Obviously, the bigger the thing, like a mini fridge, something like that, maybe a few hours. Laptop, many hours. iPhone, many hours of charging. Okay, so what have we got on here? So, let's come closer to my screen here. So you've got 3 USB-C outlets here. I need a bit of light here. 115 watt, 140 watt, another 140 watt. And then you've got a USB-C here, USB-A, sorry, that'll deliver 12 watts of power. And you may have noticed as well, you've got this thing here, which if you bought the solar panels, you'll be able to charge this thing while you're out and about using the power of the sun. Now, if you're in the UK, that's that golden globe ready orangey thing that shines in the sky about, I don't know, 2 or 3 hours a year. I'm not sure how useful that will be over in the UK, but you never know. You know, push come to shove, you can buy yourself some solar panels and see if that would help you. What else have we got on here? We've got what they call a car socket. So plugging in car socket. Now, I was a kid, those things were in cars for heating up the cigarette lighter thing. You'd push it in, it'd get red hot, and then you'd light your cigarette. But obviously we don't do that anymore in cars, do we? And so it's called a car socket now for charging things. So converting heat to power, that's what that does. So if you need that, you could do that. What else have we got on here? All right, so press that button, that turns it on. There we go. 11 to 28 volts solar in. And if that makes sense to you, then I don't think that's good or bad. We've got wireless. Is there an app for this? Okay, so if I add a device, it has found it. So this thing, there's nothing obvious on the box that it can do this. Use Bluetooth. Okay, there's already an update for it. Please charge before updating. Okay, so obviously I'm trying to, hopefully this is on screen now. So it's giving you all the inputs, outputs, and what have you. Can I tap any of these things? I'm going to turn this on. There we are. So this obviously, if you're camping, this would be incredibly useful. So I can use the app here to turn it on or off. But there's a button here, which you can press and do it manually as well. And then you can turn the screen on and off. Let's plug this in. Is anything I've got on settings? So recharging power, so you can change that for some reason. Maybe that's just to save power on the device itself. Device timeout, if you left it on, it will turn itself off after a little time. Carport saving mode, when the car charger detects power below, it will stop it automatically. AC smart output, again, if not connected via AC and output power low, AC output stops automatically charging. You've got SOS light mode. Screen brightness, we can turn it up all the way high. We'll do that for now. Hopefully you'll still be able to see that on the screen. Screen timeout 30 seconds. We can change the name, connect it to Wi-Fi, and temperature if you want it in Fahrenheit or Celsius. And if there's an firmware upgrade as well. Cool. I wonder what happens if I plug a battery pack into the battery pack, into one of these. Let's have a look. It says we have plugged into a device to C1 and it's giving it 11 watts of charge. Plug it into C2 and hopefully you can see this on the screen here. So it's giving it 95 watts of charge. So there's a lot more going on there, and it gives you remaining charge time until full, 1 hour and 54. Awesome, great. I'll plug my phone into it, see what this comes up with on my screen. So it's charging the phone, you can see there. Your remaining usage time, 10 hours and 48. So that's how much time we've got left at 38% battery. Cool, awesome. I need to plug something into these because obviously the main thing about this is, yes, these devices are going to be able to charge my phone and my iPad a few times. Obviously this has got plug sockets here as well. Well, the safest plug socket design in the world, I might add. None of your two-prong nonsense where it can flick and flop about and come out of the wall. These are really good. So let's just plug something into there. So many things in my house are just plugged in either via USB-C or permanently plugged in. We don't plug it anyway. I found a Shark vacuum back here. Obviously, if you're out camping or whatever, you'd plug a fridge into this. And there we go. So you can see it's got something on the screen there, and then on my iPhone here, it's detected charging 322 watts, gives you a little indicator there that it's doing what it needs to be doing. What's this button? What if I press that? Select end time. Okay, and there we are, it's charging it happily. I can turn it off using this, turn it on using that as well. In fact, I can turn on the carport as well. I wonder what like a typical fridge would be. So like, you know, like your camping fridges, things like that. So a small fridge, like 40 watt fridge, with this thing 100% charged, and obviously it's going to run down that charge probably for about 21 hours. The figures are suggesting here. Obviously the more powerful of the fridge, the worst case now, 60-watt fridge, compressor always on, it could run that fridge for about 4.5 hours, something like that. It's not bad, is it? So cordless drill, you could run that hours and hours and hours, well over a day, continually drilling small holes into wood, things like that. So again, for a kind of DIY thing, a 100% charge just to last you all day for as long as you need it to. And laptops, again, like hours and hours and hours. Oh, one thing I didn't mention, which I think is really important, this thing can hold a reasonable charge of about 50% for about 6 to 12 months. So it'll have a usable charge 12 months later. 1 to 2 years, it'll eventually drop down to 0%. And Anker do recommend that you keep this thing topped up above 50%. So charge it every 3 to 6 months just to make sure this thing is above that 50% mark. But you're going to get a year's kind of non-use out of this thing, and you suddenly want it, and you'll at least have 50% charge left in the batteries. That is amazing. So, am I going to be using this thing taking out to the coffee shop, charge my laptop and iPad or iPhone? Of course not. But it's an exceedingly useful backup to have around the house in case we do suffer any power cuts and things like that. We haven't yet, but you never know what the future holds. And you know, if we do go camping, which we have been known to as well, this thing will come into its own exceedingly well. And that's obviously its main use case, I think, is getting out and about. And I did want to take this thing out and about and show you stuff, but it's been raining for days and days and days in the UK, and this thing had been sat in the corner for a number of weeks. I really wanted to just get out and make a video about it. So we're indoors, but out and about would be the main use case for this. And again, yeah, for DIY, if the plug socket's in an awkward place, you want to be drilling or doing something else, then this would be a great thing to carry about and do what you need to do. This is probably going to be the biggest that I need to go for now. This will be sat fully charged, ready to work at a moment's notice. Okay, I'll pop this thing in the playlist with all my other battery packs and things, so you'll be able to find that playlist here. So go click that and you'll be able to find my thoughts about this and the rest of them that I've had, the Starship that I haven't got with me. I give it to my daughter. So go check that playlist out, and I'll see you in the next one. Until the meantime, happy charging.